I am.
And I am a young
Black.
A young black.
Young.
Black.
A young black.
Black equestrian.
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 Black equestrian.
Equestrian.
Black equestrian.
equestrian.
Black equestrian.
I'm a young black equestrian.
I am a young black equestrian.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Young Black Equestrians with your hosts, Apriana Johnson
And Caitlin Gooch.
Today we have Ranee James on the line with us all the way in the UK. Hey Ranee.
Hey.
Amelia's like, hey. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started and tell us, about yourself, what discipline you ride, and give us a little bit of info on this sweet baby too.
Okay, so my name's Ranee. I've been riding. That's going to maths that quickly. 8 years now. I'm 21. I've been riding since I was 14. I'm from the Caribbean, so I'm born in the UK, but I'm from Caribbean heritage in Antigua and Barbuda. I've lived in Antigua over the past couple of years. I've literally just come back from Antigua last year. I ride in discipline of show jumping, and my goals and ambition is basically to be an Olympic level show jumper, and not only to be one of the few maybe first black equestrians to compete in the Olympics, but I also want to represent Antigua and Barbuda because we've never had an equestrian rider actually compete in the Olympic Games.
Nice.
Ooh, awesome goals.
I know. I guess I never thought about the representation from just smaller countries that just don't have anyone period competing versus the US only having white people competing. So I think that'd be pretty cool. And so this is Miss Amelia. When did she join the YBE crew?
She joined the YBE crew March, literally a few weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. So
yeah,
she didn't want to be put down, so she's making a future.
That is all right. She is welcome here for sure.
Yes.
So how did you even get into horses?
So I've always been addicted to horses, ever since I can remember from I was little. I remember literally every single occasion, birthday, Christmas, Easter, I was asking my dad for a pony. Never materialized, but I did try a lot. The first time I ever sat on a horse, I was 9 years old. I was in Antigua for my parents renewing, not my parents, my grandparents renewing their wedding vows. And I went to a summer camp with my cousins, and I sat on a horse, and it was the best feeling ever. I was like, oh my God, again. And I literally sat there and begged the guy to ride his horse again until he let me back on for another ride. And from there, I was hooked.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it when we start out as kids and some people say that their parents thought it would just be a phase and then it's not.
Yeah, I bet my dad wishes it was a phase now.
Yeah. I'm but you could be obsessed with other things, this is a very productive thing to be addicted to.
Productive and expensive, but worth it.
But worth it. You stay out of trouble, you stay out of jail. So best addiction to have. So tell us a little bit about your riding journey. Did you start off with having lessons, or did you how did you get into the industry?
So lessons are ridiculously expensive here. I don't know why they're so expensive. It's cheaper to learn to drive a car. So I started out volunteering. So I didn't actually start volunteering until I was 14. So I volunteered at this stable called Rice at Park Stables. And it was really nice people. And I would literally spend every weekend there, school holidays. I think I'd leave my house at 6 a.m, groom the horses, muck them out, tack them up. They didn't do lessons there. They only did trail rides. So we take the horses out. I'd lead the horses with kids on them. And I'd do that all day, every day. Happily run around the field with the horses and do things like that. And then from there, we didn't have structured lessons because I didn't have an instructor there. So it'd be that we take the horses, we go out in the woods and we'd ride. So that's basically how I learned the foundations of riding. Those sessions, just going out in the woods, sort of copying what I'd seen other people doing, copying what I'd seen on YouTube, because I used to sit down and just obsessively watch videos of how to ride when I was wanting to learn. And I did that up until I was about 16. When I was 16, I actually started working, so I could pay for a few lessons here and there. And then when I turned 18 is when I moved to Antigua. And when I moved to Antigua, God bless my uncle, he paid for me to have a lesson every single weekend while I was studying over there. So I'd have continuous lessons at this barn called Spring Hill every single weekend. And then I have a good friend, Janet, she has so many horses, like insane amount of horses. She probably got too many.
That doesn't exist. The limit does not exist.
Yeah, true. So she would let me ride whenever I liked. We do lessons as well, and then I ended up teaching younger kids lessons at one point. So I sort of learned from there, learned from what I saw with other people, have my lessons as I got older, and now where I'm at is just a baby. As soon as Corona wants to calm itself down, I'm gonna go back to having lessons and carrying on with my training.
Nice.
I cannot wait for Corona to get up out of here.
Yes, it's putting a kink in so many plans.
Listen, it's like the whole show season this year has been cancelled. Like everyone I know is complaining. I'm like, great, I'm not the only one missing shows this year. It's a bit selfish, but
Suffer with me.
Yeah. I can completely understand that though. Like I try to look at the bright side. Like I feel like the world is slowing down or has slowed down. So for those of us who have been trying to get something done, it's like we get to like catch up while everybody's just kind of moving in slow motion. So I'm like, okay, it's time to do stuff right now. Now's the time before we open back up and everything's back to normal. Now's the time to get stuff done. So I agree with you, man. I mean, you don't get those, first shows to work out the kinks, but maybe they'll try to make it last a little bit longer. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll probably be like the end of the year before shows are back on here because we've had it so bad.
Yeah. And that would be the safe thing to do, honestly.
I wonder how it will be for the trail rides here.
Social distancing trail rides, keep 2 horse distance apart.
No.
That would not happen.
No.
I don't even know how that could work.
They are out there already, okay? They are like, there ain't no Corona in the woods. Come on, y'all. What?
Right.
What? Okay. Moving on. So what are some of the challenges outside of, having to afford lessons that you face by being in this industry?
So being a Black equestrian, it's really difficult because there's nobody that looks like you. So it's like, I'll go to shows and people will look at me sideways. Like, who is this person? I actually went to a show and my family came to watch, and the photographers took a load of photos of my family just spectating. Like, when I went through the photos, I was like, oh my God, like, there'd be like 10 photos of the rest of the audience and like 20 of my family. It's like, why? This is kind of weird. I've received racism at shows, so that wasn't very, I've been called all kinds of names at shows, and I'm very petty, so I was just like, okay, you know what, you want to call me names, I'm going to beat you first, I'm going to make sure I beat you first, and then I'm going to report you to the judges. Just so I can get my satisfaction, because you get to ride, I get to beat you, and then you get disqualified.
Yeah, serve them some of their own medicine, man.
Right.
Yeah, and then there's the financial side of things, which it is what it is. It's an expensive sport. You've got to get creative to find your ways around that. I know to find a sponsorship is ridiculous. I've been trying that for years. So it's literally getting creative now, and the way I do things, the way I approach businesses and things like that. And it's just getting access to good horses as well, because it's like, if you don't have a ton of money, no one really wants to let you touch their expensive horse. So if you can't buy your own, no one wants to let you touch it, because it's like saying, can I ride your expensive horse? Like, can I crash your Ferrari? Like,
Yeah. You have to really, I guess, show some skill prior to, for people to even take that chance. And even then, if you don't have the money, you're not in the space where all
you do. It's like,
yeah.
if you don't have the money, you don't have the good horse, you can't prove yourself, and you can't get sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked to people who have very similar stories, and at this point I'm like, what is I won't even say the solution, but what is the workaround? How do we improve that? Because I don't think that it's going to get any less expensive,
So one thing I have said is that when I say I want to, I'm working every single day towards going to an Olympic Games. Whether I'm at home, I might not be exercising. It's a lot of food in quarantine. Or I'm at home, I'll be sitting down. I've got a whole notebook where I'm like, okay, this is the businesses I want to target. This is how I think they can help me. And while I'm progressing along this way, I'm kind of backtracking and saying, okay, how can I help the next person coming behind me, so they don't have to go through all of this again?
Right.
So I was trying to find owners, different things like that, like people that have good horses that might be willing to give people a chance, proving myself to them and saying, you know what, there's other people like me that need just a chance. So it's me trying to find these little steps to help break that sort of issue.
Yeah, and I think everybody has to do their part. We see the problem, we see the need. So us, chipping away, trying to get to the meat of that and helping others gain access to it. I personally don't have any major competition goals, wanting to go somewhere. But if I can just increase the sheer number of people involved in this sport, I'm good with that. That's a win for me. So we all just have to do our part in increasing the diversity in this sport at all levels at this point.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so happy to work with Urban Equestrian, because they give me the opportunity to increase that diversity. The kids, they're all from Black, Asian, minority ethnic backgrounds, and it's just literally sparking them to want to ride, to want to compete, to want to engage. And there's so many kids that are involved, and they're based in Leicester, which is city 2 hours away from me, and I'm kind of working with them and annoying a lot of people in high places to try and get something like that running in London, because I think we really need it. There is Ebony Horse Club, but they only operate an area 2 miles around them, which isn't very big. London's huge. So it's more trying to get more kids in in London access to things like this. And it's not just about me. I want to influence the younger generation. My little sister, I try to teach her how to ride. I try. And I did say that one thing I would like to do is, when I eventually have the money, get youngsters. So the issue of riders not having access to top quality horses, I'd rather buy top quality youngsters, bring them on myself, and then give the next generation of riders something to ride, where they're not having to struggle to try and get a good ride.
Yeah. Awesome. Tell us a little bit about Urban Equestrian Academy. How did you first get involved with that?
So I'm from Antigua, and so I'm half Antiguan and half Jamaican, and I'm from London, and I absolutely love horses. So I was just scrolling through Facebook one day, and I saw this video on, I think it was Russell Howard's Good News, which is a show that I absolutely love. And it's oh yeah, Black equestrians. I'm oh my God, Black people. Oh my gosh, horses. Oh my God, Antigua. I was literally freaking out. And I watched the whole video, and then I looked up Freedom's name. So I found his book, and then I was 5 minutes later, I found his Instagram, and I DM'd him. I was oh my gosh, my name's Ranee, I'm from Antigua, blah, blah, blah. I love horses, I love what you're doing, I want to get involved. And just from there, it sparks.
That's awesome. Freedom seems like a very welcoming person.
He is. It's from you join the Urban Equestrian, it's part of a giant family. There's so many of us, even now, we were talking an hour ago. Like there's so many of us, we all talk like regularly, we all communicate, we'll just send each other funny videos. Like it's just a giant extended family that you can always talk to about anything.
That's so dope when you can finally find that among people who look like you, especially when you didn't know existed, and then you're like, where has this been the whole time?
I know. That's literally how I felt. I'm like, it's been where?
And you have the same interests and
Same background. I was like,
yeah, that is definitely a rarity. I can see how that would be all the way over there. You guys are far away from home, you know. So,
yeah.
well, that's cool. That's cool. I remember on our what was it? One of the times that we were on Zoom in the past.
I was there for the first one. I slept through the second one.
Yes. It was the first one. You mentioned that you were doing artwork for the kids. Do you do a lot of art, or have you kind of tried to pursue that in any way?
So as part of my way how I've been funding my writing so far is I do like graphic design and web design on the side. So I've been doing recently like animations for this lady I know that does backpacks. I've been doing children's books. I was animating the Urban Equestrian kids, and then I'm currently working on a few websites. So one for myself, one for my older cousin, and one for one of my close friends. And then just sort of trying to build a portfolio for myself. And then I was going to put it all up together on a website and start like a proper service now that I have a lot more time at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing art for a while. It's kind of like my side passion next to horses. So I kind of use it where I can.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, girl. I'm in the same boat. Yes, this that my side gig has definitely been funding YBE. somebody got to. So, how would you say horses have affected your life?
So it's taken up most of my time, to be fair. It's literally my drive and my motivation for everything now. Like getting through school, I'm not really like the sort of person that enjoys school a lot. So it's just more I'd be sitting down watching FEI videos in my lunch breaks, and it's taken up a huge part of like my day-to-day activities. Like I have to, like I'll sit down and I'll meditate. And when I'm meditating, I'm like envisioning myself at the Olympics and things like that. It's like my whole mindset has been changed. And then over summer, every single day, I was at my friend's farm. Horses need grooming, horses need riding, horses need mucking out, teaching pony camps. Like if I'm not physically at the barn, I'm mentally at the barn.
Yeah.
That's how you learn, doing what you can. And I always say that with what you have. Because one day you'll get it, and then you'll know what to do with it instead of just waiting around and not using this time wisely.
Yeah. I keep playing the quote from Trevor Claiborne, Farmer Brown, that I posted today. Like, I don't know, anytime that I have like a question of doubt or like, I think of his quote, and he said something to the effect of, people usually don't pay you to shine your light, they pay you to dim it. So don't wait for someone to pay you to shine, shine on your own. And I'm like, okay, that definitely centers me, gets you back focused. And I'm like, all right, it's not dependent upon anybody else to get this done. You got to rely on yourself. So I think that you definitely have the drive that you need to get where you want to go.
And for me, it's like, I know there'll be days where I'll get all frustrated and upset and I'm crying because I'm like, I can't do it, I can't make it. And then I'm just like, okay, like this is no journey is going to be easy. I know this is part of it. I know that if I keep pushing, I'll eventually get somewhere. So even though I'm not where I want to be now, I know that if I keep working, like in like 5-10 years, hopefully sooner, I'll reach somewhere.
Yeah. And sometimes you need to just cry it out, like do it, and then whoo, that was good. All right, moving on. You know, respect those feelings, acknowledge them, and then move on.
Mhm.
What advice would you give other aspiring equestrians?
One thing I'd say is find people that look like you to begin with. Like going through all of this alone and then realizing, oh wait, there are actually people that look like me that do this. It was a giant relief, but I kind of wish I did it at the beginning so I know I'm not alone. Find a good coach who believes in you, because I've been through, I think, 4 or 5 coaches that just had no faith in me and were there for the money. I think the biggest coach that supported me was one in Antigua, Susie, because she had faith in me and she would knock me down a few pegs. Find someone who is not afraid to tell you about yourself as well, because you need to be told about yourself or you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Also, believe in yourself and constantly tell yourself what you want to do, where you want to be, and that you can achieve it, because riding is like 60% mentality, 40% actual riding.
Yeah, I think that is so true. I know we've talked about several people who have like fallen off horses, and you know, they fall off once and fall off seems like repetitively, and it's like, what are you doing to continue to fall off, you know? And I don't think that it's something physical that they're doing, you know. Sometimes once you fall off one time, the next time you even feel like you're in a pickle, some people just jump. To be quite honest, they're just like, it's getting weird, I'm gonna just bail. Sometimes you need to, but sometimes you need to kind of develop that skill and stick it out. So I definitely think that you are right on that note.
Yeah.
I want to know, have you started thinking about what you're going to do with baby when you return to
Right.
horses and riding?
So I've been trying to think about it. Like, obviously, I've got a lot of family and friends around me, and a few of my friends are like, yeah, I'll come to the barn with you and watch baby while you ride. I'm like, I will take you up on those offers. I looked them very deep in the eyes and say, I will seriously take you up on this offer. So, you know, it's more about, like, summertime, I don't mind taking her to the barn with me, like with one of my sisters or something while I ride, and they just entertain her. She's very chilled out. But then it's like winter time, I don't really want to take her out. I can't, if I'm getting like seriously into it, I can't not ride in the winter. So it's about finding the balance until she's old enough to ride herself, and then, you know, it's not really dragging her to the barn, it's more her like, yay, let's go and ride.
What time do you, not what time, what age do you think you might start with her with riding?
This is very controversial, so I'm not sure. I'm gonna say 2 because my family won't kill me. So I go riding at 2 because she can walk and properly understands. But you know, so whenever she's like shows interest and she's, I feel she's ready. So if it's like 5, then 5.
Yeah,
I totally
but not that long. We can't wait that long. We need to see baby on a horse.
Right, it's so different.
She can grow up with that foal. It'll be great.
I know.
I always said if I had a daughter, I want a foal that's born the same day as her, so they can grow up together. I'm yet to find a foal that's born the same day as her, but I'm gonna keep looking.
Lord, I mean, it's, yeah, that let's, well, I guess I could have edited it, but I just want you to tell us a story about this baby foal, like while we're in our episode at Urban Equestrian Academy, because I think, I mean, all the way across the water, we've been watching it and it's hilarious.
You know what? It wasn't even funny at the time it happened. So Urban Equestrian had basically messaged me saying they finally found a place and he was looking for horses. So I was like, yay, I'm gonna find horses, because like this is my favorite thing to do. Just look at horses on Facebook and like online. So I put a post on Facebook, and this really nice lady messaged me, and she was like, yeah, she had some horses there, and you know, she was looking for somewhere for them to go, and Urban Equestrian seemed like one of the great, like the best things for them to go to. So we met up. I've been speaking with her back and forth, and we went up there and we saw them, and we're like, oh, this mare's a bit fat. And she's like, yeah, you know, they've just been out in the field doing nothing for a while. So we're like, all of us thought, okay, maybe she's just a bit fat. Like, she looks pregnant, but she's not really, like, I know mares, when they're close to being due, they're quite aggressive. Mm-hmm. Like, when you go in the belly, she's, like, lovely. You could rub up on her and everything. So I always thought, maybe she's just fat. Like, maybe she's struggling to lose that baby weight. You know, it happens to the best of us. Yeah. So a few weeks down the line, it's now time to move them up to Leicester, where Urban Equestrian is. So like a 2.5 hour drive. So we go to load them, and she was being a bit funny loading, which really should have been the first giveaway, but none of us, we thought, oh, it's because she's in the field and she's, you know, got a bit green. We took her up. They settled down really nicely. She had a foal who was, I think Spirit was like 9 or 10 months at the time. Mm-hmm. So he was at her feet still. And, you know, we didn't think much of it. They had settled down. I spent the day up in Leicester and then came back down because I had work. And about 4 o'clock in the morning, Freedom messaged me a video, but I was sleeping, so I didn't see it till I woke up at like 6. And then he turned the camera at the mum and this little brown thing. And then he turned the camera around and it's Spirit. And I'm like, wait, I thought that was Spirit. What's going on? And then I called him at like 7 o'clock when he woke up, because, you know, sociable hours. And he's like, he literally was sleeping at the stables. And then he woke up and saw like this weird alien thing in the arena falling over, and he was like, why is Spirit falling over? And then on close inspection, he realized it's a whole nother foal. So it just confused everyone. It was like the biggest surprise ever. It was like, we were all like, and kind of like in shock, and then kind of angry for a while. We're like, we wanted 3, now we have 4, now we have to buy more food. Like, she eats enough as it is. Mm-hmm. And then now she's like part of the family. She's gotten so big. Like, have you guys seen the videos recently of her?
I haven't recently.
Oh, she's gotten so big, and she's like so fluffy and friendly. She's still fluffy, like that lovely full fluffy still, and she's so friendly and getting really big now. So yeah, she's the best surprise of 2019 probably.
Yeah, it's funny him not knowing what it is, but just like there's something there.
There's something falling over there. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's pitch black out here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. Babies are so cute.
Some animal babies aren't cute, but most animal babies.
Some human babies aren't cute. Quite honest.
That is very true. My mom told me when I was younger, when we went to the hospital when my little sister was a baby, well, when she was being born, she said that I embarrassed my aunt because I was looking in the glass at the nursery, because, you know, back then you could look at the babies in the nursery. They didn't have like all these special rules. But anyway, she said I looked at one of these babies and I was like, ew, it looks like a pig. She said my aunt was so embarrassed.
We don't have nurseries here. The baby stays with you.
Well, that's good.
I mean, that is good, but
yeah.
I know, over here, America.
My cousin was explaining to me, she's like, it's great. They take the baby, you can get some sleep. And I'm like, here you're put on a ward. Like, I had her at a birth center, so it's not in the middle of a hospital. But if you go to a hospital, you're on a ward with like maybe 3 or 4 other women in the room. Everyone's babies are crying. You're all tired. And I'm like, that's not for me.
That sounds, I don't know, when you were describing that, it just sounds like a cow farm. That's what I pictured really in my head.
I'm not even kidding you. You have the baby, you're moved into this other room with women who have babies, unless you want to pay for a private room. It's not very pleasant.
Gosh. You know, just, it's amazing the differences in what's normal in our country.
We have free healthcare, to be fair, so we can't really be complaining.
Well, you know what? I would be definitely beside that woman. Like, firstborn. Let me see. Oh, she's so cute. Hey, girl.
Yeah, I don't even know how much the hospital rooms cost here. I'm pretty sure it's a couple thousand. Who knows?
Man, I just got my bill from falling off the horse. And I was like, okay, you mean to tell me that if I paid in cash when I went to get an x-ray, I could have paid $50 less than if I went and then I did like claim it on my insurance.
That makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Like, let's just pretend like this didn't happen and I'll just pay you in cash.
Right.
So I got to call them. Let's see what I can do.
Because that makes no sense.
Free healthcare. It sounds good right about now.
It is when you fall off horses regularly. Like,
I'm not trying to make that a regular occurrence, but
I thank God, touch wood, that it doesn't happen. Have not fallen. That's ended me up in hospital yet.
yeah.
Let's continue with that.
Knock on. I need to find some wood around here to knock on.
I got some. Do y'all have superstitions like that?
A bit.
I do. Slightly superstitious. Not like if I step on a crack, I'm gonna break my mama back, but
Yeah, I'm not superstitious like that, like ladders and black cats and.
No, but I definitely still won't open an umbrella inside.
Yeah, that's not. I work in retail and I freak out every time customers open like umbrellas and so I'm like, no.
All right. Well, do you have any other gems you want to share with us to get out to the YBE world?
All of us need to do a meetup. I keep saying this, like in Facebook groups. We need a YBE retreat or something. Like, all of everybody who watches this, make it happen. Like, guys, we need to make it happen.
I agree. Let's just all go to Antigua.
It's great. We have horses, we have sand, we have sea. What more do you need?
Right. Let's go. We need sponsors.
We need a vacation.
Sponsor vacation, guys.
Yes.
Glued everywhere.
The only other gem that I'd really share is, please, nobody give up. No matter how bad it gets, no matter how many times you fall, no one give up. One of us has to make it. Like, one of us needs to be the one that changes the game. I keep saying it. I'm gonna get on a t-shirt because it's like my mantra right now. Be the game changer. Be the one that changes the game in eventing, in show jumping, in vaulting. We need more Black equestrians in the world. We need to start making this a normal, because the next generation doesn't need to struggle like we are. Like, it doesn't need to be this difficult. It doesn't need to be how it is now. We can make this huge difference by just carrying on, by making our statements, and be persistent in what you do. Like, I'm constantly posting, like, just at the moment my Instagram's quite dry because just had baby and I've been waiting to like make a comeback, but I've constantly been trying to push other people, you know, do this, do that, advise other people. If you see other people struggling, don't put other Black equestrians down. We're struggling with enough as it is. We don't need to be having internal conflicts. If you see something that's wrong, like in their videos and stuff on Instagram, I hate seeing that hate in the comments. Just privately message them and say, guys, you know, you could do this, this, and this better, but you're doing really well here. Like, back every negative comment back up with a positive one. You know, support each other, keep doing what you're doing, and, you know, keep being amazing. Like, I'm loving seeing all these videos and stuff. Like, oh my days, I'm really loving the videos. Like, I'm living vicariously through everyone now, like, right now. So it's like the amazing videos. I've just bought the Compton Cowboys book, which I really can't wait to get.
Yeah,
you know, things like this we need more of. Write a book. Everyone write a book. Do YouTube channels. Like, you know, keep pushing out your story out there, because eventually someone will pick up on it. You don't know who's watching. Like, you never know who's watching you. You never know who's supporting you in the background, who's cheering you on. So just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually it will pay off. Like, days will be hard. You want to cry. You want to give up. You want to binge eat McDonald's. It's fine. Like, you know, keep doing, keep pushing, keep being amazing, and then we'll make it. Like, we will make it as a whole. It's not one against everybody else. We will make it as a whole.
And
if you can,
I just want to
So-
ask you, what time is it there?
It's nearly midnight.
Okay. To
It's
prove
quarter to
prove my point, Renee has always liked our stuff, shared our stuff, like she'll show up to our Zooms, and she's halfway across the world, okay? We can't get people who are down the street to show up to our stuff. So I just want to thank you
Yes.
publicly right now for always promoting the life of the Black equestrian and encouraging people to, live their best life.
Yes, I will always will. You're welcome, guys. I absolutely love what you're doing. I was so excited when you DM'd me. I was like, I'm overexcited about everything, to be fair, but I was so excited when you guys messaged me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to do this.
Yeah. So
I wish everybody felt that way.
I know. Some people are like, we need to like vet you and, see what you do first. And it's like, young Black equestrian. Like,
Right.
It's in the name.
it's
It's
like,
in the name.
we're not like out here like young Black buckaroos or, young Black crazy horse riding, breaking horses. Like, no, we're literally here for the promotion of people of color in the horse industry. Like, that's it.
Oh my goodness. That reminds me. So today, I used to do this all the time. Just Google the words Black cowgirl. But today I had Googled Black equestrian, and I was looking, and just to see, what was I looking for? I was looking for something. But anyway, the first thing that pops up is white women in Black clothes. And I'm like, it still hasn't changed. Like, it's been like that for a very long time, and it still has not changed. And then I scrolled, and I just, how Google has the different pages? So I was like, okay, how many pages do I have to go to until I find somebody Black? So on the first page, there's like 3 articles. That's how I found the girl that I posted yesterday.
Jordan Allen.
That's how I found her. And then there's like 2 other articles, and then everything else is just white people. Like, nothing else came up.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is that still a thing?
Yeah.
I know I did one magazine interview, and it's ridiculously hard to find it unless you Google my name.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
I have the Google alerts that will send me emails for specific keywords every day. And so I have Black cowboy, Black equestrian, my name, just because I want to see where I show up just randomly. And I want to say that maybe young Black equestrians, just to see where we show up. But every day, like, I'll get a list of articles and it'll be like, so-and-so was wearing a Black cowboy hat. And I'm like, that ain't
not what I wanted.
that was not what I was looking for. But very, very seldom. I mean, now recently, just because the Compton Cowboys book came out, articles about them show up. But very seldom, do they actually pertain to what I was looking for. And that's kind of how I, post things about different movies coming out, or a lot of times it's people who are doing like rodeos and stuff. But since we haven't been doing it, it hasn't been like that lately. So I agree. I mean, even getting those, like, it's not Black people. Black is a description on somebody white. So
it's ridiculous. And then it's like, the other thing is, we'll be like, yay, Black cowboy hat, or like Black jodhpurs, but they don't fit Black people because they're made for really skinny people. And I'm constantly screaming from the rooftops about this. Like, I can't find a pair of boots that fit. My thighs are too thick. Or like my calves are too thick. I can't find a pair of boots that fit. Jodhpurs are either like too loose or too tight. There's it's a struggle out here.
Yeah.
These birds are going ham over here.
The birds. I just wonder, like, I mean, not what. Oh, I can hear them. I wish that there was like a blueprint even the creation of those like breaches and stuff for anybody, what's already out there. Like, how do y'all go from beginning to end so that we can recreate this process for something that fits us? I'm interested in knowing that, like, because I will, I know what works: stretchy, high waist, and a little bit of grip on the thighs.
Can't find all three in one, apparently.
Can't.
It's either one or the other.
You can't. Or it's like just like bigger bras, like they'd just be ugly.
Yeah.
Not
Never a different color.
Yeah,
Pattern.
just brown.
Brown or
Yeah.
black. Or white. Ugh.
Yeah. So we'll have to do some research on that. I'll add that to my Google alerts.
But how do you even make something just leave out a whole section of people? Like, oh, we're just gonna forego this size.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just cater to who they think will buy quickly when
It's a whole market.
a whole market for it.
Okay.
And I'm like, there's some big white girls out there that I have seen riding. I'm like, whoo, girl,
Where'd you find the nice breeches? That's what I'm like. And my first question is, where'd you buy those?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I keep on bringing up random stuff. I be on Facebook all day. But this lady had posted where she had bought some shirts from in the Black female equestrian group. And this other girl was like, $1,000 for a shirt? No, ma'am. Yes, because they had asked where could they find some nice Western outfits and stuff just to wear on a daily basis. And this lady posted something for $1,000. Oh,
That's
no.
a horse.
Right,
That's a whole horse.
That is a feed bill for like 2-3 months. That is so many things besides a Western shirt.
Right. She was like, no, ma'am, I just need this for like everyday wear. She was like, I'm thinking more of a thrifting budget.
Yeah. Y'all, that is one thing that I have been missing out on since this quarantine. Going to the thrift shop. Okay. Like, I haven't bought anything random in so long.
I just miss, I would say I miss shopping, but Amazon has taken far too much money from me since this quarantine began. So
maybe you should make an online thrift store. Is that the same? Would that be the same?
Thrift my own stuff? Wait.
I mean, you could clean out your closet. Like, pretty sure there's some stuff in there you forgot you had.
Yes, but once I find it, I didn't forget anymore. I'm just kidding. I'm a hoarder. Like, I'm not gonna show you this room I'm sitting in. It's got a lot of supplies.
I love the giant unicorn in the background. I was looking at it earlier, like,
Thanks, Caitlin got it for me.
Found it on Amazon.
Amazon's great. I've only purchased 3 things though: a blender, the cowgirl, Compton Cowboys book, and some braided hair so I can braid my hair.
I got some too. I started braiding my hair and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna finish it in time.
That is all right. That's all right. See, okay, I feel like we're like out of the interview, so hold on a second. Let me wrap up and then we can keep talking. Hold on. Okay. All right, Ranee, thank you so much for talking to us today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your night with your baby and just chatting with us all the way across the world. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you guys for having me. I really do appreciate you guys messaging me as well. I love it here. Hopefully I do something amazing in the future and I can come back with some better content for you. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Anyone who's watching this, follow these guys if you don't already. I'm sharing.
You got to tell us where to find you too.
I'll tell you where to find me, but all my family and friends, I know this is on Facebook, guys. I can see you. Follow them. I like their pages. You can catch me on Instagram at ebony_in_equestrian. That's the main platform that I'm on for riding right now. I have Twitter, but I don't really use it. And my Facebook feed feeds off my Instagram feed, so you might as well just follow me on Instagram. My Facebook is Ranee James Equestrian, though I'm not sure what's on there right now. And yeah, I'm friendly. You can drop me a DM anytime that you guys want. Any other Black questions, anyone who has questions, anyone who wants to talk foolishness, like, I'm on my phone most of the days, guys. Just message me.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Young Black Equestrians. I am so excited that we have come this far. A lot of you have been listening for so long, and for us to make it into 2020, and it is the month of June, it is just amazing to have this support. Please head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment, leave a review. Let us know what you think and some topics that you would like to hear, even someone that you want us to talk to. See you next week.